Guys, do you remember when Lonzo Ball was coming out of UCLA before he was drafted? He was getting comparisons to Steph Curry. Yeah, I know, it's kind of funny to think about it now, but it actually happened. Of course, he never really lived up to those Steph Curry comparisons, but the latest rumors are that Lonzo and Steph could end up being teammates. Get this. Rumors from Shams Charania with The Athletic are saying that there are several teams interested in trading for Lonzo Ball. And I'm going to tell you how the Golden State Warriors factor into this in today's video. We've got lots of trade news to talk about today. This is going to be a good one. Real quick though, before we get started, my name is Troy. I do NBA videos like this all the time on this channel. Would love if you drop a like on this video. Would love if you subscribe to this channel as well. Fresh and consistent NBA content several times a week. You're not going to be disappointed if you sub to this channel. So let's break down what Shams is saying in this latest article from The Athletic. Starting off, NBA trade rumors are really starting to heat up because in early February, that is when most players who signed free agent contracts in the offseason are going to be eligible to be traded. That's going to open up tons of new players and bring them into that trade market. Shams says one team that is expected to be heavily involved in trade talks and in the trade market, the New Orleans Pelicans. According to Shams, they have been receiving calls about JJ Redick and Lonzo Ball, and they are open to trading one or both of those players if the deal is right. Big reason they could be doing this is because New Orleans has quite a few players at that point guard and shooting guard spot. A trade of Redick and or Ball would open up minutes for Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who is in his second year with the Pelicans, and Kira Lewis Jr., who is a rookie that was just drafted in the lottery back in November. Both of these players have lots of NBA potential, and to be honest, they're really not getting a lot of run with New Orleans right now because there's players like Eric Bledsoe, Lonzo Ball, JJ Redick, Josh Hart, all ahead of these guys in the rotation. Add to that, Lonzo and JJ Redick not exactly in the Pelicans' future, especially considering they have Brandon Ingram and a guy you may have heard of named Zion Williamson, who are the cornerstones for this Pelicans franchise. JJ Redick would be very easy to move, especially to a contender. He is in the last year of his deal at about $13 million. So just imagine him spreading the floor for a team like the Sixers or the Lakers or the Clippers. There are tons of teams where JJ Redick could come in off the bench and really light it up. Lonzo Ball, though, is a bit more complicated. He's in his fourth year in the NBA now, and to be honest, really hasn't shown a ton of improvement from year to year. Only averaging about 12 points this year, about 5 assists, and about 4 rebounds. The assists and rebounds are career lows. But of course, with Lonzo, you're going to get a guy who is going to give you some solid defense, is going to be able to play make, can play that point guard and that shooting guard spot. With Lonzo, though, the issue is his shooting. He's only shooting 29% from three-point range, and that's on 7 attempts per game. The 29% from 3 is a career low. His free throw percentage, 58%. And we're talking about a guard. You cannot have a guard shooting 58% from the line. And you know, we were thinking that he'd maybe turned a corner last year because he was shooting close to 40% from the three-point line, and that was about 6 attempts per game, but it does look like he has regressed this year. And with Lonzo coming up for restricted free agency, the Pelicans are thinking, okay, do we want to invest that much money in a player who may not reach that full potential? There was the news this past offseason that Lonzo had been offered a contract extension by the Pelicans. We're not exactly sure what those numbers were, but he did reject that contract. He's betting on himself. He's holding out for a higher dollar amount, but that is giving pause to the Pelicans. They're thinking, well, do we want to invest that much in Lonzo? Especially when we have guys like Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and Kyra Lewis on the bench, and Eric Bledsoe, who's also a very serviceable point guard with nice defense and a questionable outside shot, signed for 2 more years after this season. So where do the Golden State Warriors come in? Well, according to Shams, the Pelicans are interested in the Warriors' Kelly Oubre Jr. Kelly Oubre is in the final year of his contract at $14 million. Lonzo, with his salary of $11 million, is pretty equal to Oubre. Maybe throw in a lower salary guy like Willie Hernangomez to make the money work. If Lonzo goes to the Warriors, that would give another defensive presence to put alongside Andrew Wiggins, Draymond Green. Then you'd have the backcourt shooting of Steph Curry to offset a little bit of Lonzo's offensive deficiencies in that area. According to Shams, rival teams are also interested in John Collins of the Atlanta Hawks. Of course, there's been the rumors about how John Collins and Trae Young have been getting along this season. John Collins, another guy who's up for a contract extension. Atlanta, not necessarily too keen on paying John Collins a max extension, which is what he's going to be seeking. Shams doesn't talk about this, but I really think that John Collins would do really well with the Oklahoma City Thunder. I would love to see that trade somehow work out. Then you have a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, John Collins core, all those draft picks. I think that would be a really nice young team. Shams also talks about New York and the Clippers being interested in Pistons guard Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose, in the last year of his contract, he would be a great guard to bring off the bench, especially for a contender. New York, not a contender, of course, but Tom Thibodeau and Rose do have a long history with each other. Rose won the MVP while playing for Thibodeau in Chicago. Then they reunited with the Minnesota Timberwolves. So guys, these are just a few rumors that have been heating up right now. I know more are going to be coming out as we get closer to that early February deadline and also the trade deadline, which is in March this season. I need you to tell me, what do you think of any of these potential deals? If you're a Warriors fan, would you be interested in having Lonzo on this team? Would you give up a guy like Kelly Oubre to get Lonzo? What do you think Lonzo could bring to your team? Or if it's not going to be Lonzo and the Pelicans are interested in acquiring Kelly Oubre, who would you want from the Pelicans to make that deal happen? Drop any of your fake trades in the comments. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to this channel for fresh NBA news all the time. This is Troy with the Half Court Report, and I'll see you next time.